Three, two. Welcome to Best Thing This Week. This is the podcast all about the things we love and talking with people we think are pretty cool. This week, the Fandom Foundry welcomes the fellow Michigan State Spartan, Mr. Fr8 Conductor. Oh my goodness, you may know him from many of the geek podcasts that are around the world. You've got XCP, he's part of that Discord group, also part of the Nerd Chat Discord group. And not sure exactly how we found each other, but he's a pretty cool dude. So, Fr8, welcome to the show. Are you ready to talk about the best things you love?
Absolutely, Todd. Thanks for having me. Appreciate it. Love the show. I guess you would say this is a long time listener, first time caller type situation, right?
Absolutely, and that's why I wanted to have you on because I know you have a breadth of things you're interested, which is great. Because some people, it's like they make one thing their life, but I know you tend to really love things from all different areas, which is awesome. It's great to talk to a fellow Spartan about some of our stumbles in regards to the world of sports. Also, Michigander, where I was never a Detroit Lions fan because my dad was a Vikings fan, and you are a Lions fan. And,
Hmm.
because you're so dedicated. Oh, Nissa says hello. Hi, Nissa. Good to hear
Yes,
from you as you're popping in. You're a Lions fan, and the Lions are playing right now. So that either, like you said, either you're giving up on the year or you're just really a fan of the show. So I appreciate that.
yeah, absolutely. Want to give my dedication, my full attention to it, and I'll pick it up at the end. If nothing else, it really comes alive in the fourth quarter. It's where it's really decided.
Absolutely.
So, right?
Jameer Gibbs, he had a stumble last week. I'm hoping he does big. He's on my fantasy team, so we'll see how it goes. And yeah, I'm very excited for the Lions because my Vikings are done. But before we really get into everything, for people who may not know anything about you, just give me your geek pitch. Like, how did you become the geek you are, and a little bit about your life now, and what has you talking about these geeky stuff with all these different podcasts.
Oh man, that geek start. I mean, I would almost say it was, as Lady Gaga says, I was just kind of born this way. Just always loved. I think really the fandom kind of started with as a kid, all things, your comic books, your the X-Men or the Ninja Turtles with the cartoons and such, getting into all of that. And then kind of as I got older, it started to evolve. I think the first time I really started to go like the science fiction route was with Star Wars was my first love. And that would have been when they were coming out to re-release with the special editions in theaters. I was super excited. I really wanted to go see him. I was like, what is this new movie? I've never seen this before. This looks amazing. Everybody's talking about it. I got chickenpox. So needless to say, I didn't get to go. To make it up to me, my mom had actually rented the original trilogy, and that's how I started. And I watched them over and over and over again because I was stuck at home all by myself, and I was just like, "What is this show? This is amazing." And then was a kid, so of course I really loved Wicket with the Ewoks. That led to the Ewok adventure movies because that was one of those movies that at my local rental place that they had that I could go back to that I knew I liked. And then from there was I started to get into books. I really got into the whole extended universe that used to be canon, and that was what was really exciting about it was building out this big universe that just the possibilities were endless and they had different genres. And yeah, and from there just kind of spread out as I got older. To video games, obviously that's been there forever, and it's kind of I don't know. I guess that's really all there is to say about that.
Well, excellent. Yeah, it's interesting. Yeah, as a young kid, sometimes you can't control the destiny of what you watch. Then when you finally discover something, it's amazing. It's like I need to know more. And depending on your age, it was either easy to find the stuff or very hard, depending on your age or your ability to watch things. At my age, I'm a little older than you, probably quite a bit older, which meant that unless it was on TV or you could rent it out maybe like a video store, pretty limited. Yeah. So Well,
Let's talk about, I mean, the video store, just that experience of walking in and just walking down the rack, and
mhm.
you had the front cover had to draw your eye, and then you flipped it to the back page, and you got the blurb and says, "Is this interesting? Or have I seen it before?" And like, "Okay, yep, this is," and you had to, your weekend was predicated on how well you picked, because if you got the first 20 minutes in, you're like, "Oh, what did I do? Well, I guess I'm in it now. I gotta see it to the end because it's
Uh, it
what I've got." So,
it was a gamble because there wasn't like, "Oh, I'm gonna look at reviews online." That wasn't a thing. And yeah, it was cover, can't judge a book by cover. Videos were the same way, even worse sometimes because, you're looking at something potentially a painting versus what it looked like on the screen or whatever you're gonna watch. And we did not have a VCR until I think I was 10. So we would always go to my aunts and
oh,
whatever
okay.
they rented, because they weren't gonna let a 10-year-old kid pick, but they had some really bad taste at times. I'm like, and sometimes you're like, "Oh, we didn't realize this was an adult film," like, not X-rated, but it's like, "Oh, poor little Todd's watching something that he should not be watching." I remember
Yep.
seeing The Terminator at my aunt's house, and I don't think she understood, like, "Oh, this is gonna be really violent," and, like, I was like, "This is the best thing ever." So, sometimes I lucked out, sometimes I did not, but yeah.
That's what my mom,
Uh,
her and her boyfriend, they would be, or they would be watching like the movies, and they would do the thing where they'd say, "Hey, you kids can't watch. Go in your rooms and whatnot." And then the way it was set up, the couch would be facing the TV, and we'd be crawling up and peeking up, watching, like Interview with a Vampire and things like
oh,
that. I was way too
yeah,
early to be watching that,
yeah.
but whatever. It's just wild.
Um,
Different
it
times.
makes us who we are, right? We're resourceful. We find ways to find things,
Yes,
and yeah, some of those things just deliver. Others did not.
you're right.
Uh, but with that, we got to talk about the best things this week, which would have been Turkey Week, because I was out on in vacation to Michigan. I was there for a whole week. Had a great time visiting family and friends. Got to go to some classic Michigan things. I did some classic things. Oh, which reminds me, I have to put in something the best thing I ate because I need to put it on there. But yeah, how did you spend your Thanksgiving?
They would just always go to my parents. They always do a big old dinner. Have my grandparents down, have my aunt over. My stepmom, she loves to bake. She spends like 2, 3 days getting baking and cooking all ready, and my grandma jumps in on it. So that's where we always go on actual Thanksgiving. And then my wife, her family is kind of all over the place. So we'll actually have like my mother-in-law and my brother-in-law. They're the only ones that are kind of local. We'll have them over. We'll cook dinner for them. It's a little bit smaller affair, but we usually
Mhm.
save that for the weekend. So luckily we don't really have to actually go and do any traveling. We usually save that for around Christmas time. We kind of meet out in New York for the rest of our family.
It's kind of nice because you think about like Thanksgiving. It's like all that good food, one meal, right?
Y-
And if you're lucky, maybe you'll get some leftovers, but the ability to be able to repeat that in a short window is pretty awesome. Because
Oh,
when
absolutely.
you travel or you're not at you're not able to take the food back like we did. Thanksgiving was done, it's like there's no leftovers, maybe a piece of pie, maybe something like that, but you're out of luck. So, I think that should get us the best thing we ate. Um, so obviously the elephant in the room is Thanksgiving, but, what do you think? What was your best thing this week that you ate?
It's got to be the cheesecake from Max and Emily's, local bakery around
Alright.
here. They come out every year. It's going to be, they're one of those things to where you have the school age kids. They're looking to do fundraisers. So they'll come out, they'll have the list of a couple of ones they're offering this year. You do it like a month in advance. They're slightly overpriced. It's like $20 for his cheesecake. But man, when they come in, they deliver. And so my wife and I don't have the time to spend a couple of days baking. So this was our go-to. We busted this out when the in-laws came over. Like, defrost this, say, here you go. And we had it was a caramel apple cheesecake, and it was absolutely delicious. And it was a crowd favorite for sure.
That's amazing, and yeah, fundraisers, I mean, it's better than, like, the Boy Scouts popcorn, it's better than the Girl Scout cookies. I mean, cheesecake, I think, yes, expensive, but the way this looks, I mean,
Yes.
even cheesecake on a stick, I mean,
They did
wow.
not offer that one, but I always go the caramel apple, and then they do this a strawberry one that's just, it sounds basic, but it's actually really good.
I don't think you can go wrong with any of those. I mean, there's even a chocolate covered cherry, it looks like, chocolate mousse, I mean, yeah, I mean, even a holiday cranberry spice, I mean, eggnog, I mean,
Eggnog's
wow.
a little risky, to be honest with you. I don't know if I'm
For
adventurous enough for that, but
Are you pro eggnog or anti
I
eggnog? Because I know
am
that's a very hot topic.
I'm pretty lame. I'm anti eggnog, to be honest with
Mm.
you. Some of my family likes it. They tried to push it when I was a kid. I've never cared for it myself. How about you?
I am pro eggnog, but I am small doses. And I
Okay.
actually this is probably also sacrilege. I like a light eggnog, so less fat because it is so rich.
Mhm.
So I am the kid that likes the low fat eggnog, which is probably like lame. But you know what? It works. You can put it in your coffee creamer. It's your coffee creamer if you want it to be. I really like it. But yeah, my son loves cheesecakes. I think cheesecakes are phenomenal. Love it. I do though love it like the standard, like strawberry with the sauce over top. I like a sauce or something to go with it because sometimes get a little dry. But yeah, these look amazing. And the tartlets, that's the way to go. I think in the future, if you're having a party,
Yes.
everybody gets one, or multiple, and try a million flavors. So wow.
Funny story, our wedding, we actually did a cheesecake what was basically like a lot of tartlets like that for our
Ooh,
wedding cake.
smart people, because not a lot of people just like a cake, where it's just like, I've had a million cakes."
The
Yeah, get
frosting
adventurous, do
too,
something cool. Oh, yeah.
it's always too much or too little, and it's, I don't know, you're really gambling. You can't go wrong with a
Or
good
just not
cheesecake.
good. A lot of
Yes.
frostings, like, just sugar, it tastes waxy or fatty. Um, Hey, Nissa, when I see you're out there still, what is your favorite cheesecake, Nissa? Need to know, because right now I'd say mine is probably that I like cherry cheesecake with the drizzle over. That's probably my favorite. My son,
Gotta
if
have
it's
the
peanut
piece
butter.
of the cherry though, right?
Oh, oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
I mean, cherries, Michigan go hand in hand. We always go to we when we were in Ann Arbor visiting the enemies. Of course, we've got friends who live there who are Michigan grads but don't like the sports, which just makes it very nice. So we don't have to get
Yeah.
into things. But they have a cherry store. Now, have you been to like the cherry store in Michigan?
I did not actually.
Oh,
Not been down
phenomenal
there.
place.
Okay.
They have they have liquor, wine, everything. I mean, I think there's a couple all over the place in Michigan. But it's like out of Traverse City, but they have stores and they had these amazing like cherries. They're like maraschino cherries, but like a top up that you actually use for like liquor. $20 for a bottle. They look
Oh,
amazing, but
wow.
very, very much out of my price range. But yeah. Yeah, go cherry. So, let's see for myself, and I was trying to find the actual search. This is me when I go to Michigan, I like to do certain things that are part of my life. So, if I'm around East Lansing, I go to Pinball Pete's, the arcade at Michigan State.
Classic.
Phenomenal. It's still open, which is great. And then certain beers I like to get because there's only certain beers in Michigan which are phenomenal. So I had some shorts, which was great. And I had some others as well. I think Founders had their raspberry ale, which I really love too.
What was your
But then,
shorts of choice?
I haven't had many, which is the
Okay.
fun part because I live in, right around the Thumb area, Lapeer, close to Flint. So there's not a lot there, so some things don't get
Mhm.
moved out. So, um, to their Myers has thankfully upped their liquor game, which means you get a lot more beers of choice. So I think I had their IPA. It wasn't, didn't blow my socks
Huma?
off, but I know they have some really good beers.
The Huma
Uh,
Lupulicious, their main
I
IPA
don't think
you
it was
like?
that. I think
Okay.
it was a pretty lame IPA. So I'm assuming they stocked the most not great IPA because some people just don't like IPAs. So,
Yep.
but if there's a
Yep.
recommendation you have, I'll gladly take it the next time I'm back.
It's tough with shorts because they're indie and they're,
Mhm.
like, very artsy into the fact that they are constantly, "Here's a new flavor, you got a month. Now here's a new flavor, you got a month." And then, like, they might bring it back next year, they might
Got
not.
it.
So, my
Yeah.
main one to go to is probably, gonna be their wintertime. It's called, Juicy Tree. They
Oh,
got the
okay.
juniper berries, the pine leaves, so
Mm.
it's very almost like a gin type beer. I joke that it tastes like a Christmas tree in your mouth, like the typical, like, very sprucey with a little bit of cranberry
Piney.
taste.
Yeah. Yep.
Yes.
No, I know what you mean. It's weird. So when people, what is this? How do you even know what a pine tree tastes like? And I'm like, you know what? I know what it tastes
Yeah.
like.
What it
Yeah.
smells like, it tastes like the
Yeah.
smell.
Goes into it. It's like people tell you, "Oh, it tastes like an oak barrel." I'm like, "I've never licked an oak barrel, so I don't know, but people will know when you've got liquor that's aged in it or beer that's aged in it." So, yeah. I always joke, with my old co-host Charlie. I always joked that with him, like I always joked about Beer City USA. Grand Rapids, all that area. But Michigan, pioneer in beer. So glad that everything's going well there, and it's always fun to stop in when I'm there. But the thing I do want to talk about is really quick. A place I loved as a kid, still around, and that is Olga's. And so Olga's is a weird one because it is such an odd place. It's like a sit down restaurant. It was also at the mall. I think Lakeside Mall had it when I was a kid, so I'd always go there, and I would get so basically Olga's, because Michigan has a big Greek population. They also have a lot of all that influence, but the Olga bread is amazing. So it's basically it's like what you would get with like a gyro, but the bread for me is just sweeter, it's thinner, it's so soft, so delicious. And you can get your standard gyro, which I did, and it comes with a Greek salad and things like that. Or you can get, like, as a kid, a hamburger in the bread. So it's amazing. You can get a million different appetizers with it and things like that. But I hit Olga's, got the original with the salad. I was full, had a great time, and it's super, $12. I mean, like, yeah. So I tipped the waitress well, and yeah, I did it without my family because I'm like, you know what, guys, I'm doing my own thing. So I kind of on Black Friday did a couple of things. My wife went shopping with my mom. My son didn't want to do anything because he was studying for school, and I went to Olga's and Best Buy. So that was my life.
Nice.
So
Good.
have you done Olga's before?
The name's familiar, but I can't say I've actually eaten there.
Okay. Okay.
I might
Well, if
have
you get a
seen it
chance,
somewhere, but
it's in spots in Michigan. I mean, so if you get a chance, it's not in Minnesota. I think it might be in Illinois, like locations. So Battle Creek. So there you go. So there's the map. You can
yeah.
scroll in probably. Yeah. So there's, depending where you're at, but it's really only a Michigan location. And for some reason, they've got one in Southern Illinois, which is very odd. So, oh well.
Probably
But
a
yeah, none
family
of my
member
neck of
that
the
moved
woods.
down that way or something. Decided they
Maybe, yeah,
wanna
like,
open up a
I
business.
need it. So, yeah, if you're looking closer to Michigan, yeah, I live right around here. There you go,
Okay.
my hometown, Metamora. It's not that close, so I went to the one in Auburn Hills. So, depending where you're at, yeah, it's Lansing, and you gotta go there. So, yeah, and you're around here, right? So, yeah, yeah.
That's still a
So,
little north, yeah.
oh, okay,
Right
so
up
there you
there,
go. I
see the
think
convergence of yeah.
you might have to go to Traverse City
Yep.
to get to the closest one where you're at. Oh, well. Folks, if you're in Michigan, check out Olga's. It's a very fun thing. Even like where I grew up, little town, we had a place called Halo Burger. It was a very small local chain of burgers. So everybody, I think, has one of those where they live. There's just a small chain you love. So Olga's is one of those. So good chance, check it out. So I guess we're moving off of food. Well, I'm going to say one more thing. I did make something. This is related to something we made. So the best thing I made was I made gluten-free hand pies with mincemeat filling. Um, my wife is gluten friendly, and we have a lot of folks in our family who are gluten sensitive. So, oh, and Nissa said, "Is that a Danish pastry place?" No, Nissa, that is not a Danish pastry place. Olga's, it's just a standard restaurant. And then the Max and Emily's is just a cheesecake place. So no, that's about it. No Danish pastry place, especially in Michigan. There's not a lot of Danish folks, I guess. Well, maybe unless the west coast of Michigan, because you have the Dutch
Holland
in
area.
Grand Rapids. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I made these really amazing with char puff pastry. Let me pull up the char puff pastry website really quick. So if anybody's looking for a good puff pastry that's gluten free, Char makes some amazing, just gluten free products. And I basically rolled out the dough, put the puff pastry in it, and it turned out really good. Wow, this website's really slow. Oh, this is not even that. It's basically pulling up this, but basically, or you can get Char's puff pastry. It's gluten free as well, Sleet Lorenz. And yeah, you roll it out and you can just make these little puff pastries. It's wonderful. You just coat them with some egg so you can stick them together on the edges. You put them in the oven for about 15 minutes. It's amazing. And I like it better than just a regular pie because it's a hand pie. You can pick it up, take it with you, pack in your bag. So if you're looking to experiment, make some hand pies. Super easy. You can get like
Really good.
the old Pillsbury dough you can get in the
Huh.
roll, and you could even do a cinnamon roll, I guess, if you wanted to. Just put the schmear and stuff. You could really have a good time. So yeah, puff pastry. It's amazing. Check it out. Don't
Okay.
be scared of it. Put together, fill it. You'll amaze your family and friends. They'll think it's the greatest thing since sliced bread, and it's quite honestly pretty easy to do. I recommend puff pastry, whether it's gluten free or not.
Nice, I'll have to check that out. give that a shot.
Yeah, yeah. So I've been trying to learn more and more, and yeah, it's one of those places. If I can contribute to my wife's dietary issues, then I feel kind of good about myself. And plus, if it's tasty, I'll eat it too. So let's get into best things we watched. So why don't you kick it off, right? What was your thing that you watched this week?
So mine's not anything new. Anybody out there has probably already seen it or should have. But I've been seeing all my news feed's been blowing up with Wake Up Dead Man out in theaters and all of this rave reviews. And anybody that doesn't know, there's this uh movie trilogy. Now it's a trilogy or series, I guess, is what they're talking about because they keep saying they want to make more and more and more. But it's called Knives Out. Started with the original movie called Knives Out. And it's a murder mystery that's got a phenomenal all-star cast that just it blows your mind with just the humor, the writing, the way they throw these curveballs at you when you think you know what's going on and they flip it. And I like the way that they don't cheat. You watch it a second time, what they show you in the big reveal, you can go back and you can actually spot it happening. It's just a forced change in perspective of how they mess with the way you see it. But it's just, I mean, you've got um, Daniel Craig as this Southern detective that is just like this wonder kid type guy. It's just super smart, smarter than everybody there, with this crazy, even Chris Evans' character calls it the foghorn leghorn type accent. That's just phenomenal, and it's wild. He does such a great job, and there's just so many great actors that he still stands out. And they had so much fun doing the first one that they made a second movie called Glass Onion, changed everything up, new characters, new story. It's just Benoit Blanc, Daniel Craig, and the director doing it again. So it was just that one was a Netflix exclusive, did really well. And like I said, now it's Wake Up Dead Man, which is right now out in theaters, very, very select. I looked and I was so tempted to go see it, but it was like a 2 hour drive. We're getting the blizzard warnings, like 6 to 10 inches of snow. And I'm like, is it really worth it? I have to wait till December 12th to see it. So I went back and I was rewatching these and just it's amazing again that the whole entire the flip with the way they have you convinced it's one way and then they flip it on you. And you're talking about Daniel Craig, who is, I mean, let's be honest, he's Bond. But I honestly was talking to Clint, friend of the show, that I think that I will think of Daniel Craig more as Benoit Blanc than James Bond with his performance in this, and that's really saying something at this point.
I love murder mysteries. I remember watching this movie, thought it was amazing. Benoit Blanc. I mean, he is now up there as one of those fictional detectives that you just can refer to, and people are like, "Oh yeah, I get it." I mean, my wife and I are big fans of Poirot. We love all of Agatha Christie's murder mysteries, and was a big fan of Kenneth Branagh's take on the Agatha Christie, with Poirot with some of the movies he's done, and these rank up there. And Ryan Johnson is an amazing writer. I mean, I know,
100%.
and director. I mean, I know a lot of people were disappointed in how his Star Trek movie played out, but at least what I could say is a lot of people may disagree with the plot and other things like that, but the cinematography, the direction, the action was pretty great. But the rest of the things, everybody can disagree. But I think
Plus
Ryan Johnson is a
Looper,
is a is a oh yeah, Looper is amazing too.
Brick. Brick was really good movie.
Rick is on my list. I need to watch that. I
Okay.
mean, I've heard amazing things about that movie.
It's phenomenal. And the other really funny through line is there's an actor in Brick that Ryan actually befriended, and I think he is in every single movie outside of Star Wars. He is the
Really?
detective on Knives Out, just the kind of the dopey one. He
Mm,
is what's that guy's name? The one who just constantly randomly keeps walking through. Is it Dave or whatever on Glass Onion? Who's just like, oh, ignore him. He's just here.
yes.
Looper, he's
Yeah.
one of the guys that's going after Joseph Gordon-Levitt's character, and he's one of the guys in the original Brick, and they just have this weird friendship that he just constantly makes cameos in his movies now.
That's pretty cool that, you can bring along people you love. I mean, obviously, Adam Sandler does it with all his movies. I mean, you get the same cast, you get this. I mean, a lot of people do that. It's just they have people they trust, they love, they feel like they add something to the movie. So it's kind of like um oh, what's his name? Just hearing about him, write him. He was writing, and he's going to do a new video game project with Sony, from Bad Robot,
Oh,
directed Force
J.J.
Awakens.
Abrams.
Yeah, so J.J. Abrams does that with Greg, Gersberger, I think. Greg, I forgot. He was in all of those things. He was in Alias. He's in like all of his stuff, and I think that's cool that you can have those connections. I mean, Kevin Smith has made his whole career on having his crew of irregulars. And it's not a new thing. You'd see that with a lot of other people. Well, I am excited too. Is that December? When is it? When
December
does the movie come out?
12th, I wanna say?
Oh, so very soon.
Yes. Not soon
Wow.
enough, but very soon, yeah.
That's amazing. I love that. I mean, we're in the mode right now. I feel like we're getting a ton of awesome things that we've been waiting for. And especially like, it's kind of cool because Knives Out came out in 2019, and then I believe Glass Onion came out in 2023.
I wanna say it was 2020, 2023, somewhere in there.
Okay, got it. And then so this one's coming out in 2025. So that's great. I mean, it's like the cadence of these, obviously not special effects heavy. You just need a good plot, script, actors, and I'm assuming it's not too hard to put these together very quickly. Um,
It's
but it's just
great be
schedules, right?
Yeah, but they bring about these super A-list actors that just come
Mhm.
around, and you can tell they're having fun. They're putting their all into it, and they're just it's just a great time all around. And I'm really excited the fact that both Ryan Johnson and Daniel Craig have said we'll continue to make these. Like we love it. We don't care. We'll make like 60 of these. So this is what the rest of our career is. So be it. And I'm all for it. Be the next
Excellent.
Fast and the Furious franchise, you know? We'll be on,
Absolutely.
Knives
We're
Out
going to
13.
space.
Yes,
How did
exactly.
there's a murder in space. Bring in Benoit Blanc. I
We're doing
love it.
Among Us for real, you know? Trying to figure
That
out who
would be
the
phenomenal. I love it. I
imposter
just love
is.
his accent, and, we found out a little bit more about his personal life in the last film. I'm sure we're gonna do that again, and, yeah, I love the fact that he brings all these disparate different type of actors together. It just works so well,
Yeah.
and everybody's having a good time, so that's the point. So that, transitions to what I watched this week, and wowie wow, Stranger Things 5, season 5 has dropped. It's the first part of, I believe, 3 parts, because I think we're getting the next drop around Christmas, and then the next drop on New Year's Eve. So it's weird. It's in 3 parts, and we're only a month apart. So I'm not going to complain. I downloaded all of these to my iPad so I could watch them when I was traveling on business, Tuesday and Wednesday, which is not obviously the greatest way to watch, but I watched the first 2 episodes on a plane, and then I watched in my hotel room, watched the other 2. So there's 4 that dropped, and, at this point, no spoilers, but we've been at this since 2017. It's 8 years later, but in the show, it's only been 4 years as you check all of this and where it's at. So I didn't remember everything that happened, but I knew all the main beats. I watched them a little bit of a recap. Where are you at with Freight with Stranger Things? Are you
I
pro
I
con?
I love it. I absolutely love it. I will say the delay in getting this made has been a very unique, um, experience for me in my life because I went from, like, the kids were too young, we
Mhm.
wait till they go to bed, and then it got to the point where then they discovered it, and now they are with us, like, watching the premieres, which has been really cool through the whole thing. It's a good time, good writing, good characters, good cast, and just even the evolution, like, you see these different character arcs and the character growth has just been phenomenal from season to season. I'm sad to really see it end, to be honest with you. I love the world that they're in, that they created. I didn't I don't not a huge fan of splitting it up. I just really want to see it to completion right now. December 26th, I think is the next drop.
I
And
think
then
so. Yeah, it's right around Christmas, so I think it's like they're people are gonna have time after Christmas to watch, I guess is where they're thinking.
which is also, it's funny. You would think they would have dropped the first two and saved the grand finale episode for after Christmas because that's always like
Mhm.
Christmas after Christmas is a big movie theater time, but
Yep.
why they waited for, like, the new year sometime, I don't know, but I don't know, I'm here for the ride, it's been really good.
Yeah, they're hoping people are off, have nothing to do, and will be everybody will be watching this versus being busy with other things. So, but yeah, I get it. It's been a roller coaster because I remember when the show started, a lot of people thought, "Oh, it's just a nostalgia grab," and I'm like, "Not really." They're not like, "Oh, remember that song I love so much," or like putting brands in front of your face. It was just the era they were in, plays pretty well, so you don't have like like a computer check on the internet for things, low tech. Um, and perfect timing for some of the goofiness, Dungeons and Dragons, and stuff like that. And I'm a kid of the 90s, well, 80s and 90s, but mainly 80s. So this really hit for me. And but I'm glad it's like other generations are loving it and really embracing it. But season 5 is we're at a weird point in this show where it's culminating. We've got characters that are part of the history who aren't in this, but you still see their imprint all around with it. And then you have some additional elements that are being added in. And I'm really enjoying it. And you're seeing, once again, like you said, evolution of characters, seeing more of that in this space. And it's kind of great. It's kind of like you see where everybody is leading to with their evolution, and it's very fun. You kinda feel like everybody knows who they are now. These are
Mhm.
young kids that started off, and it's like they were learning. You had some betrayals, you had some, like those hormones and emotions, and the comedy bits are still there, but there's lots of high emotions in this, and a lot of unknowns where this will end. To your point, where it's going to end, they do have other projects announced that they're going to do. There's going to be an animated like prequel that's going to be coming out, or not prequel, it's like a midquel, I guess.
Okay,
There's also a Broadway show or musical Broadway show that is out that is about pre-Hawkins. So it's basically about Hopper and Joyce, like when they were in high school. So it's
okay.
further back. So it's closer to like 60s, 70s. So yeah, I think there's a lot of things you can do with this. And if they want to spin it off, but I'm just very excited that we got this project. I love the soundtrack. I love all of those things. So yeah, check out Stranger Things 4. These are long, long episodes. Some are feature length, but they are laying everything on the table. The pacing's great, and we're all in. And yeah, pull in your horses if you enjoy this. If you haven't seen it, just start watching it. It's fun. Avoid spoilers and just hop in the ride. It's a great watch, and don't think it's just an 80s, nostalgia fest because it is not. But yeah.
It's kinda
So
crazy. I do wanna point out just one quick aside. Sorry
yeah,
to get you off topic here, but what this show has done, even though it's just kind of a small part to a certain degree, but what it's done for Dungeons& and Dragons in general, as far as, like, it's
oh
bringing
yeah.
it to the mainstream. It's almost like what Freaks and Geeks tried to do to a certain degree, but I don't think the world was ready for it yet. And now you have Stranger Things, which I would argue it's almost less featured other than the naming concepts for the bad guys for the most part. Um, but just what it's done is kinda incredible.
Yeah, because you had that, like, the beginning of the group with the naming conventions of how they could basically, I guess, make it make sense to them in their
Yep.
mindset, and then you had the Hellfire Club with Eddie and the way they showed a game, which was very much, like, cinematic in a lot of ways, like, with the dice going and, like, that is amazing, and then since then, to your point, we've got Crucial Role, all these other shows where people are live playing a D&D game, you've got then Vox Mach so, yeah, the whole D&D thing is blowing up, and it is
Mhm.
more popular than ever, and that is amazing, and
It's
very
not that thing that people tell your parents say, "Oh, keep away from those crazies. They're doing satanic rituals in the
oh, yeah.
sewers,"
Yeah, and
'cause
that
that's
is a
what you see
part
on
of
the news,
season
you know?
5 too. It comes back and, it's kinda fun that we've got that. Yeah, so Stranger Things season 5. We're almost done, folks. Enjoy it while it's here. Yeah, so excited and so glad they got to finish and tell their story. So, you don't always get that. Moving on to one of the cool places I've visited. We typically hit this place and we got to go back, which is Vault of Midnight. I think they have two stores in Michigan. This is an amazing comic book shop in Ann Arbor. It's other places too, but this place if you want to know how to do a comic book shop, you make it like this. It's amazing, has figures and everything under the sun, but it is a true comic shop. They're all over it, and they have a great way of displaying comics. People are passionate about being there. They have D&D stuff, they have cards, but it is really amazing, and we go every time we can. And it is heartfelt that a store like this is doing well. They have Ann Arbor, Grand Rapids, and Detroit. And Ann Arbor's the flagship store. I'm not sure if there's any good images of it, but they have events. It's very cool. And it is, I think, neat to see all the people that are walking this store, young, old, discovering comic books. And if I ever got a chance to run a comic book shop, I would probably try to emulate what they're doing, because even my son, who goes to the University of Minnesota, Minneapolis, St. Paul, there's our comic book shops, but none are like this. And I think I wish more big cities had shops like this. So I'm not sure if you're big into comics, Fr8, but it's a great shop. And if you get a chance to check either Grand Rapids, Detroit, or Ann Arbor, I know it's a little south of you, but yeah, I would check out Vault of Midnight. It's pretty dope.
Okay. I'll add it to the list. I know I have in-laws down there. U of alums that kind of stuck around the area. So next time we're down there for holidays, I have to check it out.
Yeah, they do a good job of like highlighting books and getting people into it. My son found a couple books, like really cool T-shirts. So yeah, it's a great time, especially if you're looking for gifts.
Hmm.
A gift to a comic book shop is something that I think everyone could enjoy, because there's something for everybody. But you do need a good shop. I'm lucky that I have a shop about mile and a half from my door that is amazing story arc. They're doing it right. The guy is amazing. I talked to him first to talk about how he opened a shop. We had a great conversation, and he takes full feedback from everybody, and he's balancing that comic book crowd plus the D&D card gaming table. So, but it feels clean, fresh, and it's really well done. So
Awesome.
check out your local comic book shop if you can. That leads us into the best things we played, and I am very interested in the game you played.
So yeah, Dispatch. I've been playing it for the last couple of weeks, streaming that over on the YouTube side. I think Nissa hanging out watching it. I was really interested in it mainly because I don't know about you, but I was really big when Telltale first came out. So like the first couple of The Walking Deads were amazing. The Wolf Among Us was a huge favorite of mine. I thought it was very interesting how they kind of grounded it in a way, but still leaned into the fantasy and was kind of more of an adult take on the fairy tale. That was just it was very interesting. And then so when I saw them that they were behind this, I'll admit it wasn't my first thing that drew me to it. It was this whole thing of like the superhero workplace comedy, and you had was it is Paul Jake Paul, I believe it is, from
Oh, Aaron Paul. Aaron
Aaron Paul.
Paul.
Yes,
Yep.
sorry. Not the yeah. Sorry.
The
Sorry, Aaron
Paul,
Paul.
that would
I do
be
not mean to
amazing
insult
if
you
he
by
turned.
saying
Yeah,
Jake Paul
yeah.
or Logan Paul, you know. And it drew my eye. I thought the writing seemed kind of funny with what little bit I got to see. I mean, you're seeing the names right now. I mean, the voice acting is phenomenal. I will say the writing is just absolutely top tier. I've listened to a couple behind the scenes like interviews with the developers and read a couple articles. Their story is absolutely wild. It took them like 5 or 6 years to make this. You know, they went from Telltale to was it Ubisoft to work on um what was it the Splinter Cell remake, and they left to go
Hmm.
start to do this. And at one point, it was going to be a TV show. They were running out of movie or money, and then the pandemic happened, so they switched this over to let's do a video game. They're down there to the end. They almost had to close up shop before they even released it, and then Critical Role, bring that back to them, came in as an angel investor, and they got this out. And thank goodness, because it is absolutely top to bottom. The writing is amazing. I will say the weakest part about it is the actual gameplay to a certain degree. Um, because I feel like they tried to not be so much as just a straight up walking sim. And I like that they try to add a little bit of something different to the formula as opposed to being what they were before and exactly how they were. So like the main gameplay portions are going to be where you're the actual dispatching, which can be hit or miss. Like the hacking puzzles are not great, but they kind of break it up a little bit. To me, if they would have made a TV show, it still would have been absolutely amazing, like a little anime. It's very adult. I will say that right off the top, but they have a lot of filters, little dials. You don't like the cussing, hey, boom, they'll bleep it out. You don't like the nudity, they'll put black bars right there for everything, which is
Love it.
actually what
Yeah.
I did, which is really entertaining because there's a point where you have a fight with a guy and all it is just a big giant black bar everywhere as you're fighting this guy. And then I honestly I felt like that made it funnier to me personally. And it's just like I said, the humor is really good. It's kind of like Invincible style. Maybe
Mhm.
Invincible, somewhere between that and like a Rick and Morty or more of adult humor, but they don't go too far into the crass. They just kind of
Yeah.
uh they stick with that, but there's also moments where it's very, very grounded and very personal story that's just I cannot recommend this game enough. Like if you just even I think they have an option too. You can turn off the quick time events so you can almost just sit back and watch for the most part.
Got it.
They have a lot
And
of
that was always a
dialogue.
problem. That was a problem with a lot of the Telltale games, right? A lot of the action sequences were okay, maybe quick time or oh, if you missed it, you screwed up. I had that a couple of the Walking Dead were like, oh darn, I missed it. I mean, and it wasn't because I didn't try hard to do it. It just seemed like it was something missed in me being able to make the right decision, which
Well,
then screwed me over.
they'll put it in the middle of a big action scene. So then you're
Yeah.
you're you're split between am I watching what's happening on the screen or am I paying attention to the button prompts? And
Hmm.
sometimes you get
Yeah.
caught so much into the spectacle, you're like, oh wait, you need me to interact. Whoops.
Yeah.
Well, there goes that.
Which is frustrating because the story is why you come in and you want the gameplay to be another way to immerse you, but you don't want to be like at odds, right? And you're like, oh, well, that made me frustrated because it now impacted the story in a way that wasn't because I just made the wrong decision, it was because I was late to the punch because yeah, I was watching it. So yeah, it's
Yeah.
that core balance. Yeah. Yeah. The art's
It's
amazing. And the like you said, the cast is a mix of, I would say, real actors, some
Mhm.
people that are it's interesting because a lot of these people are like Lana Pierce, she was in, she's works at a studio, but was also in IGN for a long time. Jacksepticeye does a lot of videos on YouTube and things like that. And then you've got Aaron Paul and Jeffrey Wright, two amazing actors, been
yes.
big, but with all these other people. So I'm glad it worked out because sometimes you could say, well, these big actors, do they really want to work with these no names? And apparently, if you're just a good person, a good actor, you don't care as long as they bring it. And obviously, it worked out. And this game is doing amazingly well. And I
I
think
will
all
say Jeffrey
our
Wright really
Mhm.
brings it. He gives it his
All
all. He
right.
is really, really good in this.
Well, there are no small parts or only small actors, so I'm glad they're all, uh, big actors doing the right thing. And are all the episodes out now?
Yes. You can do
All
it
right.
start to finish now. And they said that what was their 3-year projection of what they were hoping to make, they made in their first month. So, they're exceeding expectations. I think that I mean, they're what, a million and a half
I thought
sales, I wanna say
2,000,000.
now?
I thought they
Were
had
they at 2?
2,000,000. I
Okay.
think so.
So, almost
Yeah.
guarantee we're gonna see a season 2, which would be awesome.
Is this on and I'm trying to remember which platforms is this on?
PlayStation and PC.
Only those 2 so far?
Yes.
Okay. So I'm guessing maybe at the Game Awards, maybe we'll get an announcement that it's coming to the other platforms?
Maybe, probably my guess is they probably started PC, and I'm guessing, with the I mean, at one point in time, the studio founders weren't even taking a paycheck to make sure that it was
Ah,
still getting made. I'm guessing it was just an investment that Sony made to lock up the exclusivity on the console side.
mm,
So,
okay.
whatever that is on the backside, I mean, I could be wrong, but that's what it kinda seems to me.
It does seem like they would be more okay than if Sony had some type of influence, maybe a release window or something like that. Switch would be next. I mean, it just seems like it's a perfect game for Switch. Doesn't require a lot of Twitch resources. I mean, it's
I would
maybe?
be curious because I do feel like it is a little more adult than you would see, but then
Okay.
again, I mean, I'm sure Switch would take, GTA if it came out, so it's not really
Well,
that
they
much
already
different
have
than
what they have
GTA 2.
they have Red Dead Redemption. I think that finally came out to Switch. So
Okay,
yeah.
so yeah,
Yeah.
you know what? Obviously, look how dated my views are. So
No, that's what I think a lot of people are like, and well, Nintendo's like, now we'll sell it to everybody if they want to.
yeah.
But I'm so glad this is doing well. It's on my wish list on Steam to remind myself to buy this game eventually, when there's a downtime, which is foolish for me to even think there's ever a gaming downtime, but it is something that I would love to get into because I did love the Telltale games. I'm a big fan of, oh, yep, and Red Dead came out to mobile. You're right, Nissa. And this is saying Dispatch is awesome and fun to watch. Yeah, I agree. I think it's a game that's probably might even be an open gateway game to get maybe significant others or friends that are not into gaming into it with a cool story and something cool to watch, which is,
Oh,
it's not
absolutely.
always easy. Or you can even play together, like make choices and say what do you want to do. So almost like a co-op game in a lot of ways.
The one
I have a
problem with that
handheld,
is
Nissa. I have a Switch. I have a Switch too. That is my handheld.
you don't have a lot of time. So it's one of those games where you have the
Ooh,
timer and it goes pretty quick, where you got to make that decision on what you're going to say. Otherwise,
got
it
it.
will just default to you don't say anything.
Oh, yes, those type of things where, yeah, it just is it's gonna keep moving the plot forward.
Yep.
That's a lot of games where it's like, "Oh, crap, I'm thinking too hard about this. Just
Yep.
decide."
Trying to get
Yep,
input, trying to get a poll. What do you guys feel? What do we do? And it's like,
yep.
shoot, we don't have time.
Nice, nice, yes. I'm very excited for this game. Very cool that it's coming out and keeping Telltale style games, out there in a really amazing look. Wow, glad they put the effort into this. So for me, best things I played in my hotel, I ended up taking my. What do I have? Let me see if I can grab this really quick. I do have it. So I do have this. So anybody who wants to play streaming games when you're on the go, at a hotel, maybe your Wi-Fi is good enough, your phone has good access. My hotel's Wi-Fi was crappy unless you paid the extra $5. So
They
I
always
didn't,
are.
but my 5G worked pretty well. So I ended up using my Game Sir.
Ooh,
This is the G8, not the G8 Plus. It's a fantastic device. USB-C, so it works with anything that has USB-C connector, and it's got back buttons. It does have you can do uh, basically you can do a lot of different combos and things, which is great. It's got full size. It's basically an Xbox controller, which is amazing, and it has modes for Android, Xbox, and iOS/PlayStation, so you can do whatever you want. It works pretty well. I did it with, cloud gaming, so I saw that Marvel Cosmic, um, Invasion had dropped, so I said, "Let me give it a try." It works amazing. The only thing that I don't love is the fact that, I have to take my phone on my case because the connection on the USB-C isn't long enough, and it also doesn't have haptics, and it doesn't have a lot of other things. So I'm probably gonna upgrade to the G8 Plus, which adds all those things, makes it Bluetooth so I can just keep it in the case and go from there, and it does have a charging port at the bottom, but once again, but it has to be charged, but it doesn't have a way to charge a device. But it's pretty amazing, works great, loved it to pieces. And for those of you who are big into brawlers, specifically like the most recent one, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, Shredder's Revenge. We're seeing more and more of there was a GI Joe game that dropped. Um, we've got was it Streets of
Street
Rage
Fighter or no,
4.
Streets of Rage, yeah.
Yeah, there's so many of these amazing brawler games that are coming out. There was even a Power Rangers version, and with Marvel Secret Invasion, it's by the Emu team, and I'm gonna pull up a trailer of that really quick. But the cast is amazing, so it's very cosmic oriented. But then they added some grounded characters. You're taking on Annihilus, who's part of the cosmic threat that the Marvel universe has faced, and it's basically adding in kind of the tag team where you can bring in another player to come in. You can then combo that player as well. It has a block button, which I don't know if any other brawler type game, like arcade game, has added in a block, but it's pretty cool to add that in. And then it takes advantage of characters that can fly, that are just grounded characters as well, like Rocket Raccoon. He doesn't really punch people, but his gun is basically his melee attack. So it's very cool, really well done. I'm enjoying it quite a bit. And as I type this in, is this a game you've tried out, Freight?
I have. I am actually a massive fan, because I was the kid that grew up, like, I remember there was this restaurant we used to always go to here in town that we would go to every Sunday after church with my family, and they actually had a couple of arcade cabinets. So while the adults are sitting around the table talking, waiting for the food, we would be handed like a handful of quarters, and you'd go play. And they had the old arcade cabinet for Ninja Turtles and the beat 'em ups, and I just play forever on this. So this just really harkened back to that. But what I honestly got to say it was really good because a lot of these beat 'em ups are just only copy and paste between different characters. They just look different, and these characters play different. Every single one is just different combo set, and even the ones that are similar still are enough different that you can tell that they're a different character.
Yeah, it's not doing palette swaps. Even like Nova is different than Marvel, who is also a cosmic character, but she uses a sword. Nova uses punching, but he also has some major elements. You can recharge your power up, and then you can do combo power ups, and then you can do all these amazing things. And you can play co-op. I have not played co-op yet, which obviously is going to be a ton of fun to do. I don't even know how co-op. I mean, I guess it works in cloud streaming. I never tried co-op with cloud streaming, but that would be amazing. And it worked amazing on cloud. It was great. I really enjoyed it. And the only thing I haven't figured out yet. I'll have to look again, see if it's on PC Game Pass, like local, because when I looked, it just said stream. So I don't know. I'm
It's
assuming they fixed that, or maybe not. I don't know.
as far as I know, I don't know. It was a weird hang up for whatever reason. It showed up that way on the Xbox app on the PC. But if you went into the actual Microsoft Store, you could find it, and it would be a download through the Xbox Game Pass or PC Game Pass or
Okay.
whatever, and then
Well,
you could have the local version.
oh, that's amazing. So I love it to pieces. I also am building an arcade system. So this game will be perfect. I've got a mini PC, so I'll load up the Xbox app and get this on there with the dual sticks, do it local. It'll be amazing. So very excited for that. And I want more of these. I want every IP to have one of these,
Mhm.
'cause it won't make anybody mad, 'cause if you don't like that IP, then you can skip it, but if you could play. I'm trying to think, I mean, DC needs a good brawler game. They haven't had one since, Injustice, and it's been a million years. Let's get them a brawler. I don't know, what is your dream brawler, Freight?
I mean, honestly, this might have been it, and maybe more X-Men focused. Like, if you would
Oh,
have
yeah.
brought in, like, Nightcrawler and, like, that's the one Nightcrawler, Iceman were always my go-tos, maybe some Colossus in there would have been really cool, Angel as well, but this is pretty close. Maybe a Star Wars? I don't know how well that would work with the lightsabers. You almost had that with Jedi power battles, that was the last one I can remember in the PlayStation 2 era, but, maybe it could work. This was pretty dang close to it though.
Yeah, I mean, I could see it because they had those Super Star Wars games, back the old
Yeah,
day. They were just going through, but if you add a couple of characters and you make it, even if it was clone based or something like that, I think it could work really well. Could be a lot of fun. Jedi's
maybe a
just clearing house.
Transformers
Oh,
or
Transformers would
Generation
be
1 Transformers.
amazing. Oh, yeah, yeah, and the G.I. Joe game that was out in the same style, okay, not the best, but if you can get it on a deal, yep, Transformers up there, Team NT, had so many of those, but I'm in for anything. If we even like it in the Fox animated series all come together, like Family Guy and
Oh,
The
yeah.
Simpsons and American Dad, and all those guys come together, I
Remember the old
I'd be all in.
Simpsons? I swear there was an arcade cabinet with the old beat 'em up with Bart
Oh,
Simpson,
yeah,
and yeah,
yeah, it's amazing.
good
Yeah.
time.
Yeah, even like a Disney team up, or maybe even go after like the Nicktoons. They should all have one.
Yep, absolutely. As long as it's
Yeah.
this team, I will say, because
Oh, they're
they put the
amazing.
work in. They're not just, like, phoning it in and throwing, the skin on a wireframe and just saying, "Here you go," not good. They actually, like you mentioned, they got the combo system, there's the block with the counter,
Yep.
there's your basic attack, there's your special attacks, there's your ultra attack, the tag team attacks, like, it's as deep as you want it to be for the most part.
Yeah, and I could see them, I think what we have not gotten with a lot of these games has been like expansions where it's like, oh, we're bringing out 5 new players. And by the way, we've now added 6 new levels or something, or new boss. That'd be kind of
Yep.
cool versus because sometimes you're like, oh, I've done this level over again or something up. I think it'd be very cool if they just said, hey, for $10 more, we're adding 3 new characters and we're adding in additional boss fights and things like that. I think that'd be really amazing.
Be an easy sell for me. I'd be in
Oh yeah.
instantly.
Yep, absolutely. Gives these games more life too. And I think it could like, hey, by year 2, this is our plan. And I think even make it a platform. So now it's like, oh, now we're doing Secret Wars, and then we're doing
Like
this and we're doing that. Yeah.
yeah, almost like Smash Brothers, how they're
Yeah.
the base game is the platform and you buy the year and you get new levels and new characters and they just slowly add them as they go along.
Yeah.
But then again, I guess you're butting up the head against like a live service model almost to a certain degree. People
True.
gonna go for
True.
that in their own style? I don't know. It's tough to say.
And before I forget,
I
yes,
personally love it.
Xbox needs one of these. I think they've got so many characters now, they could just do it and have a blast.
Yes.
And one character can even be one of the Forza vehicles. That'd be hilarious.
Here's the wild thing is that with their IP that they own, the Xbox beat 'em up would have Spyro and Crash. Like, just
Absolutely, Banjo.
it's so
I
wild.
mean,
And
yeah,
Banjo,
yeah,
but, like, just the epitome of, like, old PlayStation mascots are now beating it up, with Master Chief and maybe
yeah.
Marcus thrown in there with Dom and yeah, be wild.
It'd be great. So Nissa says I have a ROG LIX that I bring everywhere, and I mean, and that is pretty amazing. The fact that, and then it looks like, is that also a ROG LIX?
Yes, it is.
Have you updated to the big game mode what is it called? The
Full screen
Xbox
experience?
big picture?
Yes,
Yeah. Have you updated?
I have.
How do you like it?
I I do. I like it. I wasn't somebody who really butted my head up against the performance overall because I kinda
Hmm.
understood what it is. It's a PC. So my battery life is not what I was expecting to get with, like, the Switch, because I had an OG Switch before, it
Hmm.
burns through battery. With the new experience, it's a lot quicker, a lot snappier. A lot of stuff isn't loaded in the background. And with that, your battery life is gonna be a little bit better. It's not super amazing gains, but I think my favorite part about it is just the fact that, like, I have I don't have to rebuy, like, a new library. I don't have to invest in a new
Hmm.
ecosystem. It's, like, stuff I already have. It's like, "Here you go. Throw it in." If they wanna eventually one day Nintendo wants to say, "Here's Xenoblade Chronicles on PC," I'd be really happy, but outside of that, I guess that's where I'm gonna be at now.
No, I think that's great. I mean, having a device you now have that allows you to play so many games from so many platforms, and they keep improving it, which is amazing. You don't have to buy a new device. You don't have to buy the new LAX or anything like that. You're all set. And Nissa, if you got a question about it, ask Freight. Freight, is it difficult to do the upgrade? Should Nissa be
No,
nervous about it?
it's honestly the biggest thing is gonna be you have to go into the settings and then sign up for, like, the preview program. I only
Mm,
went as far as the beta side. I didn't wanna go super far, and I was also part of me was worried if the my Windows key and profile setup on my handheld is the same as my desktop, and I was ready to make that gamble on my handheld, but I'm not like Eric, and I'm not ready to go full blown on the desktop side yet. I don't
yeah.
It's working the way I want it. I don't really wanna mess with that. But I will say it stuck to its own thing. Once I did the beta, it downloaded a new update. That did take a while. I wanna say roughly 20 minutes to download an update. But then once there, every time it opens up to the main one by default, I will say the one nitpick I have with that is actually shutting it off because I'm so used to bring the taskbar up and then like a PC, powering down. But when you
Hmm.
bring that taskbar up, it says, here's these tabs. So like you can open up Steam or whatever, and they'd be almost
Yeah.
like you're looking at Chrome with tabs.
Yeah.
But if you want to get to turn it off, you have to go back to the main one to actually get your Windows bar to do the power off. Unless you can hold the power button. I guess I haven't played with that. I'm not used to. They always tell you on a PC how you don't want to hold the power button to shut it off. You want to go through and go the Windows start. You know what I mean? So
Don't tell me what to
that's
do,
what I do.
PC.
Yeah.
I can do whatever I want.
So I just, yeah, they're expensive. Don't want to just burn them out just being stupid like that, I guess. Or
No,
it's the old way, I guess. They're probably
Mhm.
way better now, but it's like your grandparents that still put your batteries in the freezer to make them last longer. even though
Yeah.
it's horrible for him. You can't tell him otherwise.
Yep. Well, very cool. Yeah, if you own a device that supports that feature, give it a try if you're interested. Because I think it's a cool idea of finally, I think Steam pushing Windows into the modern times of gaming, which I really appreciate that because somebody's got
They
to
need
move
it.
Windows forward. They need it
Yes.
because they're still trying to support drivers on HP printers from 2019, which is God Almighty. So let's wrap up the show with the best news this week, something that made us very happy. So Freight, this is going to be a little bit in the weeds for a lot of folks that didn't
Yep.
go to a certain college in the Big Ten in the East Lansing area, but we did. And then I'll wrap it up with something that's a little bit broader for other people. So, um, tell me about the best news.
So the big news is after very disappointing seasons, I'll admit I was all in on Jonathan Smith. He was the head football coach of MSU. I was all in on the Aiden Childs. I was like, yes, he's our quarterback of the future. And it got worse and worse every year. We've been bad, and we finally let Jonathan Smith go, and we brought in Pat Fitzgerald. Um, People don't know, really into the weeds. He was a former Northwestern coach. And Northwestern used to be fairly competitive. He was pretty decent back in the days of D'Antonio. He was one of those, they were like the
Mhm.
sleeper team that if you were not paying attention, they would totally beat you down. They had a great offense. They looked good. And I don't know, people around him speak highly of him outside of that one little controversy they had that supposedly he's been proven innocent. So, I'll give him the benefit of the doubt there. My only concern is that we keep Courtney Hawkins, our wide receivers coach. I think everyone else can be replaced, but that man is probably the one lone bright spot we have in our wide receiver corps of Jaden Reed, Jalen Naylor, and Keon Coleman. And
Yeah.
hopefully we can pull Marsh back out of the transfer portal, but we'll see. It's still good days, especially since you've got hockey teams rolling, basketball's always rolling, the soccer's been rolling lately. Everything's looking good except for the one that everyone else seems to care about, and it's the big money one. Is football has been trash. And I have a lot of family that's U of M alumni and fans, and it's really hard to eat that humble pie every year. Especially after the D'Antonio era of really just being so good.
Yeah. It's interesting because, yeah, I thought Mel was going to be decent, but obviously he was sketchy, did some really crappy things. He benefited from using the portal effectively with
One guy,
Kenneth Walker.
Kenneth
Yeah.
Walker.
Kenneth Walker.
Yes. And
Exactly.
Courtney
And then it just
Hawkins
fell
bringing in
apart.
Keon Coleman and all of his wide
Yep.
receivers he developed.
Yep.
So, yeah.
And then it fell apart. And then, yes, Jonathan Smith, I thought, oh, it's going to be good. He just came at a bad time where I just don't think he was able to adapt to transfer portal, uh, you know, uh, name, image, and likeness money. Michigan State is obviously not as big as some of the other schools for generating cash, and which is tough. And then we are now haunted with even Pat Fitzgerald coming in. I think he was in the same boat. It's like Northwestern just didn't have the football dollars to really be competitive. But I think Michigan State is a step up. We have done in the past, and I think we need somebody to bring us forward. And I think Pat Fitzgerald is a great choice. The question is, can he adapt to that? Can
Mhm.
he get the donors behind him? Which, and we obviously have some NCAA infractions which are going to hurt us. We ended up, I think, wiping out how many years of wins because of Mel Tucker and
2
his
years, 14
recruiting
wins.
things. Yeah, so I'm hoping as we see this as a new opportunity, our wide receiver coach stays with us, which it seems like we're leaning to. So that's going to probably happen, and then starting fresh. And I think one of those things that brings in athletes is having amazing facilities. And Freight, what are we doing at Michigan State?
Yeah, there's like the $1 billion mega complex, sports complex, which is crazy because they just put how many millions in dollars and they just did a brand new locker rooms. They put brand new jumbotron up on the stadium. A whole entire, I mean, shoot, Draymond Green put like $15 million in for like his strength conditioning room that's named after him. It's wild. They just put all brand new facilities. So the fact that they're even going bigger, like maybe they're just getting tired of all the money that everyone else is throwing around. You've got Dave Portnoy throwing $10 million for Bryce Underwood to come play for them. Maybe our alumni finally said, "Well, I guess we got to pay to play now at this point." But yeah, just look at that behemoth.
Spartan Stadium, it looks like it's, like, even, like, hotels around it or something, hotel
Shopping,
space.
I think,
Oh my
conference
goodness.
space
Yeah.
area?
I mean, it's amazing, and you can kinda see the layout of campus, and, I have always loved Michigan State's campus. It's one of the main reasons I went to it. It's amazing, and, things are pretty close. I mean, you do have, Breslin, Munn. I would say the facility's always been decent at Michigan State and
Yes.
good, but doing something like this, it just feels like, wow, it's gonna be impressive, but to your point, all this money going into athletics, and those of us who are not, we're not part of the athletic program, I hope there's no movement away from funding other facilities, keeping us competitive with academics, obviously, 'cause that's why you go to school. To
Right,
get a
right,
degree, hopefully.
absolutely.
Yeah. Yeah, so we'll see what happens, but it's kind of exciting for Michigan State to actually look like we're trying to be competitive in a space where we typically say by, I don't know, week 4, at least basketball and hockey are coming up, and
Which
now
can
we
we quick aside on basketball, can we talk about the start? The 7-0,
we
3
have
quad
never
1
done
wins?
that. We
We
always
always take our licks early, and we're like, "Well, Izzo will be ready, we'll be good by December, January," and now we're in
everything starts in,
December.
yeah, January, and we do our run,
Yes.
right? And
We got
now it's
Duke
like,
on Saturday, like, and I honestly, I've never once thought, "Oh, we got Duke," unless it's, in March. But I honestly think we got Duke. Outside of maybe Boozer could be a problem, but
yeah, yeah, and Nissa, you're absolutely right. Think of how many scholarships they could have given up with that setup, all these different things, and all we can hope is maybe the athletic funds that they're going to get from this will then filter back into the other programs. Because quite honestly, without football and basketball, I would say those main sports, that's what funds the other programs. That's going to
the
fund women's
TV money
sports.
alone, TV
Yep,
contracts is huge.
it funds so many athletic programs and opportunities for other athletes that may not get the hype. Like our good friend Sean Nias' daughter is going potentially going to be a scholarship player for lacrosse,
Oh,
and
wow.
lacrosse is just not a huge sport outside of certain regions. And football programs and basketball can fund women athletics, which is amazing. So we hope that happens. Even small sports like soccer and
Water
wrestling,
polo,
and yeah,
of
yeah,
all
my
things.
friend played on the water polo team at Michigan State.
Yeah,
She was
same
amazing at it,
same
and I'm like,
here.
I would have drowned at that game, or even women's hockey, which is growing, but
Mhm.
still, need to keep it funded.
Yep, absolutely.
So, well, hopefully Michigan State's gonna have a new era. I just am tired of being a little brother, and tired of the Walmart Wolverines driving me nuts, like my
Uh,
sister, who, not sure why. I was only went to a Michigan school, and not sure why. Oh well. Moving on. I won't bring up that heartache. But something that's very exciting to me and my former co-host Charlie was Star Trek. He was the biggest Star Trek fan in the land. And I was more of a passing fancy with Star Trek, and I really have enjoyed it, but have not kept up to speed. One of the areas they've struggled is the movies. So they've had some good movies. And then the last batch of movies with Chris Pine, that group, is finally dead, because we're hearing now that Paramount, because of their new ownership and everything, wants to make Star Trek big and go back to the movies. So they're starting from scratch. It's not going to be anything from the previous series. And the most exciting thing about this announcement is, Star Trek finally doing something outside of what we already know, which they've never done before. Everything in a movie has been tied to a TV series or even a fresh start with the other movies. They're bringing in some of the bigwigs behind the Spider Verse, and also one of my favorite movies, Dungeons and Dragons, that just came out a couple of years ago.
Ooh,
They are
yeah.
going to be the showrunners, or the movie producers and runners and directors of the new Star Trek film series. So it's John Francis Daly and Jonathan Goldstein who co-wrote Spider-Man: Homecoming, and they also are behind Dungeons and Dragons, Honor Among Thieves. So hearing that, they are the ones that they nail tone, they nail comedy and balance great action. They respect the franchises they're part of. Now Star Trek fans are typically older, so I think this is very much needed to bring in a younger fan base, somebody new where they can just say, "I can jump into this, and this is maybe my Star Trek." Like even the J.J. Abrams version of Star Trek was their Star Trek. I'm very excited about this. I don't know how long this is going to take. I hope it comes together because I think Star Trek is too good to only be adored by people that are soon to get on Social Security. So I think the stuff on Paramount Plus has been very good. I like a lot of the series there too, but some people just ignore it because Star Trek has never been for them. So, Fr8, any history with Star Trek?
I'm gonna be honest with you. There's one of those things where I guess before you get old enough and form your own opinion, you kind of go with the crowd, and that is, I was a Star Trek guy, so or Star Wars guy, so I couldn't like Star Trek. It was honestly the J.J. Abrams that first got me into it,
Hmm.
which I do want to point out that it's really cool, and it's something that happens in Star Wars. It doesn't always pan out, but it's really cool to see people who grew up and are massive fans like J.J. Abrams, or specifically Simon Pegg, who really helped out on those movies a
Yes.
lot with J.J. Abrams, and he is a
Hmm.
massive Star Trek guy, and I would almost guarantee you John Daly is as well, and it's wild to see his come up from Freaks and Geeks, as we talked about earlier,
Hmm.
or a side character on Rizzoli and Isles of all things, on
Oh, wow.
TNT. You know what I mean?
Your mom's
To now
favorite
this
show.
to now he's a prolific director. I mean, Dungeons& and Dragons was phenomenal. You're talking about the Spider-Man films was phenomenal, and
Hmm.
I'm excited to see what he does, because it's bringing new blood, new ideas from a point of fandom, which is very exciting to me.
Yeah, I cannot wait. I hope it's got that energy that I think Star Trek has needed. And yeah, always opening up a franchise to new people, especially a franchise that's almost 70 years old now. It's crazy. I mean,
Mhm.
that's it's hard to do. There's not many. James Bond, Doctor Who, and then beyond that, I mean, you talking about Batman, Superman, and things like that. So time for these things if they're going to continue, time to change. Well,
Absolutely.
that is it, Freight, for our best things this week. It's been a pleasure. I want to say also thank you, Nissa, for joining us on this wild ride. I love your
This
comments.
as
And
always.
last thing, just fun fact about Nissa, she says, Keene State College is my undergrad alumni. We were famous for our about Holocaust Center. Oh, so they have a Holocaust Center there. Very, very cool. Well, thank you, Nissa. And appreciate your comments. And yes, you're right. Star Trek Deep Space Nine is amazing. Great Star Trek. So even if you want to go back to a franchise, that would be one I'd highly recommend because it's Ron D. Moore who did Battlestar Galactica and other shows like that. That was his baby, and you kind of see it there. So with
Okay.
that, Freight, for people who want to see more of Freight or follow what you do, where can people reach you?
Um, I'm Freight underscore conductor on BlueSky. I sometimes throw out them skeets as they call it, from time to time. A lot of
Yeah.
reposts, things I like to see. Sometimes I mess around on YouTube. It's Freight.conductor. And then every once in a while I mess around on Twitch. It's Freight underscore conductor. Otherwise, you probably find me in one of your geeky fandom discords that I'm, whether it's spreading the nerd or your Discord, XEP, nerd chat, you know. I think at the point it's I kind of have to focus my attention on certain ones from time to time because there's so many to keep up with. But it's great to have people with the passion that you can just kind of have great conversations with. So
Well, it's
it's been
been
great.
great
Thanks for
getting to
having
know
me.
you. Yeah, it's been great getting to know you. It's kind of weird how I find Spartans all over the place. So we have that bond, and then it's just great to hear everything you're into and your thoughts on games and pop culture media. Absolutely love it. So for us at the Fandom Foundry, you can follow us on socials at the Fandom Foundry on basically anything Instagram and Blue Sky. We have a YouTube channel, we have a Discord, and we also have our podcast available on Spotify, Apple, and Google, and our YouTube channel. So would appreciate if people rated us, liked us and subscribed. It's perfect. And our Discord is a great place to connect with us and other geeks. And we obviously are friends with a lot of the other Discords out there. So and if people are interested in talking about their best things this week, shout me out. My DMs are open on all socials. Check out our Discord, and then you can learn more about our show and if you want to be a part of that. So with that, we hope everybody had a great week. And if not, make this week the best week ever. Good night, all.
Good night, everybody.